welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're wrestling with a question that, honestly, I find myself asking, and I know many of you are too. With all these AI chatbots and agents, well, seemingly doing everything from writing code to drafting reports, is it even worth learning AI anymore? We're going to try and unpack this landscape for you, maybe give you a bit of a shortcut to understanding where the real opportunities might lie.
Yeah, that's such a real question right now. And you're right. It feels like AI is just everywhere. You scroll through social media and it looks like these agents aren't just coding or analyzing data. They're practically, I don't know, making coffee and walking the dog. But here's the thing. The insight that often gets missed, while they are incredibly powerful tools, um, they are not replacements for human ingenuity. Not yet. Anyway, someone still needs to build them. Someone needs to guide them. And critically, apply that human intelligence for strategy, for context. Make sure they don't completely go rogue, shall we say. And that's precisely where the human role, especially for people new to the field, becomes not just vital, but actually the true value add.
Okay, so not replacements, and they might go rogue. So you're saying that even the most advanced AI agents we see, they aren't magic then, they're real limits.
Precisely. Yeah, absolutely not magic. Think of these AI agents like maybe it's super smart, incredibly efficient interns. They can execute a massive amount of work, generate marketing copies, summarize long documents, even write basic code snippets. But just like any intern, they will absolutely mess up without proper supervision or without really clear, nuanced instructions, or if they haven't been trained on the right information. See, the real insight here is that AI's power often comes from its narrowness. It's brilliant at specific tasks, but it fundamentally lacks that generalized common sense or ethical reasoning or the strategic thinking that humans bring to the table. That's why the human layer isn't just about supervision in a basic sense. It's about strategy, it's about context, guiding the AI towards providing true business value. Companies are, frankly, desperately seeking people who can train these agents on their specific, often private data, people who can then tweak the AI's behavior to fit unique business processes, and finally integrate them properly into real-world systems. So this combination, this AI plus humans working together, that's what's in enormous demand right now. It's not one replacing the other. It's really like an unbeatable partnership.
Okay, that clarifies it quite a bit. It sounds like there's a definite kind of irreplaceable human touch needed, which is reassuring for anyone thinking about getting into this space. But if I'm someone just starting out, a fresher, maybe with very little or no experience, what are the actual concrete jobs genuinely open to me? What kind of roles really show this AI plus human synergy in action?
Right. That's the crucial next step for a lot of aspiring folks. And the opportunities are, well, far more tangible and accessible than you might think at first glance. Let me just walk you through some key entry-level roles and their typical North American salary ranges, roughly speaking. First up, you've got data analysts. This role is really all about bringing order to data chaos. You're cleaning data, building intuitive visual dashboards, maybe using tools like Power BI, and finding those nuggets, those insights that help businesses make smarter choices. For freshers, you're usually looking somewhere between, say, $55,000 to $70,000 a year.
Okay, 55 to 70K.
Yeah.
Starting.
Yeah. Then there are junior ML engineers. Here, you're more focused on building smaller, specialized machine learning models. Think about tasks like predicting customer churn, figuring out who might leave a service, or classifying spam emails, keeping inboxes clean. The pay for freshers there typically starts around $70,000 to maybe $90,000.
A step up.
A bit, yeah. And then there's a newer, really exciting role, my AI agent developer or prompt engineer. This is all about using specific toolkits, things like LangChain or Crew AI, which essentially help you stitch together different AI models and data sources so you can build more complex, multi-step custom AI assistants for very particular tasks. Even as a fresher stepping into this, you could be looking at a starting salary of $75,000, maybe up to $100,000.
Wow. Okay, that's significant.
It really is. And finally, for those who maybe aren't leaning towards heavy coding all day, there's the AI product associate. In this role, you're acting as that crucial bridge. You connect the business needs with what the AI tools can actually do. You're translating what the business wants into something the AI can deliver, often without writing much code yourself. That's typically around $65,000 to $80,000 to start.
I had to say I'm genuinely surprised by how competitive those starting salaries are. I wouldn't necessarily have expected that for entry-level roles in a field that feels like it's changing so fast. That's incredibly appealing, especially when you compare them to what freshers might earn in, many other established sectors right out of college.
Absolutely. Those starting points are really competitive. You'd desire those in other sectors for sure. It just underscores the current demand, really, and the value that companies are placing on these emerging skill sets right now.
All right, those opportunities definitely paint a very compelling picture, but If these exciting roles are the destination, what's the most reliable map? For someone just starting their AI journey from scratch, is there a clear, sort of actionable roadmap for learning these skills and actually landing one of those jobs?
Yeah, there is. It's certainly not an overnight thing, let's be clear, but it's entirely achievable. Think of it like leveling up in phases. And with a decent commitment, say about 10 to 15 hours a week, you could realistically land your first AI job in roughly a year.
A year, okay. What does that look like?
So phase one, maybe the first couple of months, the basics. This is where you build your foundation. Focus on learning Python. It's pretty much the main language for AI. SQL for databases. You need to handle data. And the fundamentals of statistics, because that's the logic behind a lot of the models. Honestly, the secret here is these are like universal keys. They open doors across tech, not just AI.
Right, fundamental tech skills.
It's exactly. Phase two, months 3 through 4. Data skills. Now you apply those basics. You need to master tools like pandas for cleaning and manipulating data. And let me tell you, mastering data cleaning, it's like learning the AI's native language. It's often overlooked, but probably the most critical skill. Without clean data, everything else just crumbles. Then work on data visualization, maybe using something like Power BI to actually tell stories with that data. A small hands-on project is really key here. Like grab some Netflix data and analyze it, look for trends.
Okay, practical application.
Yep. Phase 3, months 5, 6. Core machine learning. Now you dive into the core ML concepts. Understand regression, that's for predicting numbers, like a house price. Classification, putting things in buckets, like spam or not spam. And clustering, finding natural groups in data, maybe different types of customers. A great project here, a classic for a reason, is predicting house prices based on different features.
Got it, the standard ML stuff.
Pretty much. Then phase 4, months 7, 9. AI agents. This is where you get to the really cutting-edge stuff right now. Focus on tools like LangChain and Crew AI. They're essentially toolkits for connecting different AI models and data sources. They let you build more complex, multi-step AI agents, build something fun but practical. Maybe a chatbot for simple customer service questions, or an agent that summarizes long YouTube videos. This phase is where you really start to feel like you're shaping AI behavior.
It sounds cool, Angela.
It is. And finally, phase 5, which is ongoing portfolio development. This is so crucial. It's your secret weapon, honestly. As you finish each project, get it up on GitHub. Think of GitHub as your public tech resume. It shows your actual code. Share your progress. Share what you learned on LinkedIn, too. Recruiters love seeing real projects. It proves your practical skills and your initiative way more than any certificate ever could.
Yeah. That whole roadmap laid out like that, it actually sounds incredibly well structured.
Yeah.
And frankly, quite manageable. It doesn't sound like some mythical, decade-long quest. It feels like a concrete path. Right. Achievable in a reasonable time frame if you actually put in the effort consistently.
Exactly. With that consistent effort, that 10 to 15 hours a week we talked about, in about a year, you really could be ready to land that first job and start making a real impact.
That's genuinely exciting news. But here's a nagging concern. The one listeners are probably thinking, and yeah, me too. What if AI just keeps advancing like crazy at this exponential pace we see? What if it eventually replaces even these specialized AI jobs we just mapped out? How do you really future-proof an AI career?
Yeah, that's the big cliffhanger, isn't it? The thing everyone worries about. And it's a totally valid concern to think about. But if we connect this back to how businesses actually operate, the picture becomes clearer. Businesses don't just want some generic, off-the-shelf AI. They want their AI. They need systems specifically trained on their unique, often private, data, built precisely for their specific needs and workflows, and critically, continuously monitored, refined, and strategically directed when mistakes happen or new opportunities pop up. AI, as it stands now, it can't really manage itself effectively in a business context. It can't define its own strategic goals. It can't navigate complex human organizational politics. Well, not yet, anyway. It still requires that human oversight, that refinement, that strategic direction to be truly valuable in a commercial setting. So the freshers who start learning these skills now, they aren't just safe from being replaced in the near term. They are actually getting ahead of the curve. They're positioning themselves to ride the wave of AI innovation, to be the ones directing it, shaping its impact, rather than just, watching it happen from the shore.
So the takeaway then, for any fresher out there who's been on the fence, wondering whether to jump into AI, the clear answer from our deep dive today seems to be a resounding yes. The advice is, start now, build small, learn consistently, and grow fast.
Exactly. And maybe remember this one thought. While these AI agents might be incredibly smart, the smartest move for you is knowing how to use them effectively to create real, tangible value for businesses. That's the true power you'll actually wield in this field.